One of the harder things about the criminal injustice system is the fact that the people on opposite sides of the aisle of you. So I'm a criminal defense attorney, right? So I'm talking about going up against prosecutors. We took the same classes in law school. For the most part, all lawyers take the same first year classes. They take the same second year classes. And then in the third year, people take electives and it varies. But the fundamental classes we take, in every law school you take criminal law. In every law school you take torts, which is learning about civil laws like accidents, with negligence, and things like that. You take contracts. But you also take criminal procedure, right? You take evidence. Everybody takes those. And one of the issues is when you get into a courtroom and you're dealing with somebody who took the same classes as you and they see the law totally different. And it's frustrating because the law is clear, but it's subject to interpretation. That's why you got judges who sit on courts and they have different rulings. But my belief is they see the law differently because of their job, right? Like, as a prosecutor, their goal or their mission is to seek justice, but a lot of times it's to seek convictions. And because they have that blind spot of trying to get a conviction, they're a hammer and everybody's a nail. And here defense attorneys come along trying to tell the story of their client, trying to advocate for their client. And they try to tell a story of, wow, in this case, this is what you need to take in consideration. A coworker was telling me about a case recently where his client was innocent. The charges didn't match what she allegedly did. So on the face of the charges, she shouldn't have been charged with that. But the prosecutor, knowing the client was in custody, couldn't afford to get a bond, the prosecutor was aware of that. And this is important. Prosecutors are aware of that. Prosecution, they look and they see somebody's in jail. They see how long they've been in jail. They make a common sense assessment. This person probably can't afford to get out. So instead of doing the right thing a lot of the times and dismissing the case, they'll offer a lesser charge or credit for time served, which is a conviction, but the person gets out. They'll offer a reduction on a misdemeanor instead of just dismissing the case. And they do it because they know the person will take it, because they know the person wants to get out. That drives criminal defense attorneys crazy. And it's hard because fast forward to when these prosecutors become criminal defense attorneys, we remember that. And we see them some of them advocating and fighting for their client. And we're always thinking, damn, you couldn't see this when you were a prosecutor? Now you have it? Now you understand the justice system? Now you have the advocacy? Now you understand your clients are being harmed? Why did it take you having to do this job to understand that? This grandmother who is taking care of her grandchild, who is on SSDI, who only gets $600 a month, who might get kicked out of her apartment, who got charged for something silly because the cop didn't know what he was doing. Why you couldn't see that? Makes our job hard, right? Every day we fight. These are things people don't see. These are things people don't know. And then we go back and we talk to our client. And to our client, we're the system. We're the oppressor for a variety of reasons. Because we're the one communicating with them. When they're communicating with the judge, is the judge telling them the charges or giving them a plea? They don't even have to see the judge when the case is dismissed, if it gets dismissed. They don't talk to the prosecutor. So we're the one conveying it. So the client is like wondering, is this person fighting for me? Is what this person telling me the truth? Is this really what the prosecutor is saying? Why won't they let me out? Why won't they dismiss this case? It's hard, man. And an added layer that nobody likes to talk about, but I'll talk about it, is when you're dealing with a prosecutor who looks like you, and by that I mean has the same skin color or comes from the same background, it's always hella disappointing when they're acting like they can't relate to your client's experience. They're acting like they don't understand what you're talking about. Same with judges. Judges who act like this. It's really, really frustrating. Because it's like an understood thing. It's like the black experience it's understood. The brown experience is understood, right? There's unspoken things. Why doesn't that get translated into the courtroom? Every now and then it does. But there's a variety of reasons why it doesn't. Because a group think, because they want the admiration of their peers. Should there be people of color who are on the other side prosecuting cases? 100%. Because you need somebody on the other side, hopefully, who has that lived experience. Right? But a lot of times it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing when they're afraid to do what they know is the right thing. Now, they'll tell you, oh, that's convenient for you to say. It's not, though. You don't know my story. I don't say those words lightly. So for all those people who are going to become lawyers, for all those people who are in law school right now, for all those who think about getting in the criminal defense, working in the criminal justice system, for all those people of color who become prosecutors, don't forget your lived experience. Don't forget that when you leave that courthouse, you're still a person of color. When you get pulled over, you're still a person of color. When you're outside of your familiar area, you're still a person of color. And so are our clients, bruh. I'm sorry, man. Some offense reports, not all, but some offense reports have lies in them. Some of their offense reports don't match what the body camera says. Some things being told to prosecutors by the police aren't what happened. So go into it with an objective mindset. Don't go into the fact scenario saying, this person is guilty and this is why. You do your own investigation. Use your common lived experience. You're going to say your job is not to investigate, that's a cop's job? You know, cops come on the scene, make an assessment, and they arrest. There's no hour-long New York Undercover SVU. That doesn't happen. Here's a secret. Even special victims, somebody's accused of a sexual assault of a child or some type of sexual crime, they're getting a statement from them, then they're getting a warrant to arrest a person. There's no, well, let me look into their history. Let me see if this person's telling the truth on them. No. In the way it should be, you should be innocent unless proven guilty. But the reality are people fall into two other categories. They fall into the category of guilty unless they happen to be proven innocent, or innocent until they're proven guilty. They fall in those two categories. But it should be innocent unless proven guilty. But people aren't giving them benefit of the doubt. But back to my original rant point. Don't forget your lived experience when you get in that courtroom, when you decide to become a prosecutor. Don't forget that. It matters, man. It matters. Don't just toe the line. Take your experience as a person of color and put that into your work. Put that into your job. Because if not, you're just like everybody else. And you don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to represent my clients with zealous advocacy. And part of the advocacy is bringing my story, my lived experience, into helping them tell their story. The wild part is, it's criminal defense attorney, public defenders, we get the bad rap. We'll say anything to get somebody off. Nah, we're just trying to tell our client's story. We're just trying to tell our client's story. We're just trying to tell our client's story. We're just trying to not have you look at them as a number. We're just trying to tell our client's story. We're just trying to have you see them as a person and not one of your 200 cases you got on the docket. This person's life matters. This person's story matter. And this is why.